Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the mount reward for the Mage Tower when that comes out in 9.1.5. So I did a video about the Mage Tower before it was official because I saw just enough evidence to show that this has to be happening. There's no other reason for all these things being added into the game files. And pretty much everything, barring maybe one or two little things that I predicted is what happened as far as the recolor rewards. I did not predict that there would maybe be I probably suggested there be a mount reward, but I think it's a very interesting way that they're doing this. So we're going to talk a little bit about the mount reward, how to get it, and all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and pull up this tweet. So this was a tweet from GG WoW. That's Golden Guardians WoW. I believe that they made this graphic, so I wanted to shout them out because it's their colors and stuff on here. So this is going to show you the 7 different challenges, and you need to be able to complete all of these. If you complete all of these challenges, you'll get the mount reward. So you have a healer challenge, so that's Restoration Druid, Mistweaver Monk, Holy Pally, Holy Priest, Discipline Priest is not going here, Resto Shaman. Then you have a tank one for all 6 tanks. And then you have multiple DPS ones. The Discipline is in the DPS one, but it's Beast Mastery, Windwalker, Discipline, Destruction. Then we have Balance, Marksman, Frost, Shadow, Affliction. Down here we have Arcane, Rat, Assassination, Enhancement, Demonology. Then we have Unholy, Feral, Fire, Outlaw, Elemental, Fury. Then we have Frost, Havoc, Survival, Subtlety, and Arms. So you need to have one of each of these. Or let's say you're a paladin, or I mean everything has multiple specs. You don't have to be a paladin, but a druid could get 4 of these done, for example. So if you have a druid that has a lot of gear, I assume gear is going to help you. You can knock out 4 of the 7 by just playing your druid if you know how to play every spec of your class. Now for me, I'm a paladin, so I'm a ret paladin main, and that's what all my gear is on. So I'll at least be knocking 3 of these out on my paladin. So I'll obviously do the ret one first, so I can get a guide of that up for any other ret paladin stuff, because this is I do a lot of ret paladin guides on this channel. So I'll do the ret paladin one first, and then I'll probably do holy protection. That'll be my 3. In this grouping, up at the top here, I'll probably do Beast Mastery, because I have a Beast Mastery Hunter with some gear. Down below, I'll probably do his Balance. Again, I have a Balance Druid with some gear. And then these other 2 are going to be the more difficult ones. I have a Demon Hunter with some gear. I've mostly played tank this expansion, so I'll probably do Havoc for this one. And then, which means that I'll need to play, pretty much the only real option I have is them playing Fury on my Warrior for this challenge. So that's kind of my game plan. That allows me. I was trying to level up a DK to make this maybe a little bit easier for me, but gearing up a new character seemed a bit daunting. And you're only gonna have 1 week, or is it 2 weeks this first time? It's either gonna be 1 week or 2 weeks to complete this. So, you're not gonna have a ton of time to be gearing up a character in the 9.1.5 where it's easier to gear your character. So you're gonna want to have a game plan here. That's the biggest thing I'd say. And make sure you have a game plan if you want to get this mount on how to do this. Again, if you have a druid, it has gear on it that you think you can complete the Mage Tower with, that knocks out 4 of the 7 right there. I have a druid, but I really don't know how to play feral at all, and so on resto. So I'm not going to try to kill myself to go for 4 on my druid. It'd just be a lot easier to get 3 done fairly quickly on my paladin, and then move on from there with some of the other classes. So that's my game plan. You should come up with your own game plan here. Obviously, you want to maximize everything you can based on the characters that you have at 60 and stuff like that. If you need to level a character, I mean, it might be a little bit rough to do so, but that is an option as well. You can knock out multiple things, based on what you're best at or whatever. Like if you're a mage, for example, and you know how to play mage really good, you could just do 3 of them on your mage, all as DPS, and that's perfectly easy, perfectly fine to do if you can do that. So just know what you want to level, know your game plan going into it, because this is on a timer. So if you want to get them out, make sure you can do all these. And yeah, other than that, I want to talk about them out a little bit. So we don't know exactly what the mount's going to look like yet. I believe it. So it's a Soaring Spelltome. Is this on here? Yeah, flying carpet. So I believe it's going to look somewhat like a carpet, but not like it's not going to look like a carpet. But I think, in my opinion, you're probably going to stand on it, and the book's going to be like open. In a similar fashion as someone standing on a carpet, and it might have really cool effects or something, or the pages could turn in some way or something. So there might be really cool things added to it. But the Soaring Spelltome was actually one of the options when we voted for the free cool mount that we're gonna get just for the anniversary, or I can't remember what they did it for. It was during the whole stuff when they were trying to add some stuff into the game for COVID and stuff like that. They're like, let's do a free mount thing or something like that. And that's when we got the Wandering Ancient mount. This is the one that won, the Wandering Ancient. And you could see there's like a worm on the back of it. That was another choice, was like a slime worm thing or Ardenweld inspired one. That was another one. But we had the tree, and then, so Soaring Spelltome, I think I got like third or fourth. But it was a cool idea. Now this is actually kind of cool because a lot of work went into that mount, the Wandering Ancient, and I imagine that they had at least some starts on each of the mounts, like, not fully done or anything, but it's like in some amount of work done on each of the mounts, so that way they could have somewhere to start with and concepts and stuff like that. So I imagine it's going to be pretty cool, just like the tree's pretty cool. Everyone kind of likes the tree. It has a cool animation, kind of makes cool sounds when it walks. And I expect the Spelltome to be pretty cool too. I think it's going to be a lot of visual effects. I think it will be a flying mount, of course, Soaring Spelltome. And I think it will kind of function like the flying carpet where you're standing on it. I've seen some other like ideas about it where you're like sitting on it, like meditating, sitting on the book while it's closed. I saw a concept like that as well. So imagine like sitting on the book binding and it's flying through the air. I think that could be possible, but I see it open in some way. I don't know. It's going to have some sort of cool effects with it. I don't know how it'll work exactly. But yeah, I'm very anxious to see what it looks like anyways. I do plan on getting it. Good luck to everyone else getting it. What I will do is I will do the Rat Paladin one first, get that guide up as soon as possible. I imagine it'll be pretty easy for me at this point. And then I might do a guide for each of the ones that I do, just to try to help people out, I do believe my guides are pretty thorough, so even though I'm not like the expert at them at those other class specs, it could be helpful just to have that out there for people if it's going to help anybody out. So I might be flooding people with guides during that week or two. It's definitely possible that I am. But if I suck at it or barely do it, I won't bother doing a guide on it. But if I figure it out and it's pretty easy for me, then I will do it on those other class and specs. So I believe that should be coming, in patch 9.1.5. We don't have official release date on that or even a tentative release date. I believe it'll be end of October or middle of November, just because that kind of lines up to get the 9.2 patch out at the correct time, which would either be like January or February. Probably early February would be like the correct time normally, because they take a lot of time off for holidays. Like they have like paid time off or whatever that they take off for holidays. So that would line up with a normal patch cycle. So this isn't normal. Nothing about Shadowlands is normal. So who knows? But I believe this will probably be end of October to middle of November, somewhere in there. So that's what you have to look forward to there. So I just wanted to talk about this mount a little bit, how to get it. And, I know a lot of people probably didn't even know about this. There's so much news coming out. It could be easy to miss this kind of stuff. So yeah, that's it for this video. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe because it helps me out so much. And other than that, everybody, have a good one.